What it do, YouTube? Is Coffee on the vid. Tapping back in, man. And more recently we saw something come back to light, right? In regards to Officer Rick Ross. And that's not uncommon for things to come back around and be rehashed in the blogosphere. Like something else I just want to point out that jumped back into the spotlight in light of the whole Drake and Kendrick situation was when Drake was wearing blackface. Like, I still can't believe that blew over. That just blows my mind. Like, tap in and let me know all your thoughts about that, y'all. That just really showed me what a just odd individual Drake is. And it's just so crazy, man, with some of these artists that are just so huge and almost have like a pop type of vibe to them. Like certain things, it's just crazy that the blogosphere, the algorithm, I don't know, is there something to that they don't get pressed so hard over certain situations? You know what I mean? Like that really seems like something that could have been career ending. Something that was just wild flucked up, and I still, for the life of me, cannot make heads or tails of why Drake would do that. And as I've been saying in other blogs when this has come up, again, I thought that was fake or Photoshop when I first seen it. And then come to find out that was real. That was reality. That actually happened. And, it was for a photo shoot for a clothing brand. And the name of the clothing brand was, I believe, if not exactly this, something to the extent of Jim Crow Couture. Like, why would Drake be a part of something like that? Like, what the fuck was wrong and is wrong with this guy? You know what I mean? Does that speak to you in volume about who Drake is as an individual and how he is very inauthentic or full of lies or what? Comment. Again, let me know your thoughts across the board. Make sure to subscribe, like, and all that, man. It's all about hearing from the people over here. You feel me? But something else that came back up a little while back, which also stemmed off of all this stuff from the J. Cole project, where, J. Cole sent some jabs out and artists responded. And, we got to where we're at, because if you recall, just a couple weeks ago or so, before Drake and Kendrick started going at it, we saw Drake and Rick Ross, you know what I mean, and other individuals throwing disses out. And Drake was calling Rick Ross white boy. Rick Ross was calling Drake white boy. He was talking about his nose job and all that, and Drake was denying it all. You know what I mean? He put up a text with my Dukes where he was like, Mom, because his mom was like, yo, how dare you go get a nose job without me, son? And he was like, Mom, if I really did that, I would have took you with me and we would have got the 2-for-1 nose job special. Like, what kind of a fucking guy are these artists, man? You know what I mean? Like Drake and Rose dissing each other. A lot of fakeness to all that, man. A lot of fraudulent energy and vibes. And this other story that came up off all that during that whole beef, came from 1090 Jake. Ain't that crazy? Drake was shouting out in a big way, 1090 Jake on 1090 covering the whole Officer Ricky situation and all that, right? And he was also shouting them out recently, you know what I mean? Because there's been that story from way back when Drake got robbed for his chain. And, I didn't hear 1090 talk about this. Maybe he did, but it was always put out there that Drake pressed charges on the individual. You know what I mean? So on a street code type level, like a lot of cats were like, yo, Drake broke the street code. Now, I always share with everyone out there, you know what I'm saying? I'm no gangster. I'm no gang member and all that. You know what I mean? So I don't really get at individuals about snitching or whatever. I mean, we'll cover it and I'll say, hey, this guy claims to be this kind of guy. And look, he's rat-tat-tat-tatting just like that goofball SBA fake gang member, Crip turned Blood, turned a million different gangs, you know what I mean? And now he's back to trying to create his own gang once again, just a total goofball to the fullest. But Drake was saying, yeah, if there was any paperwork on me pressing charges, 1090 Jake would have been pulled that up. You know what I mean? It's wild. It's like Drake and 1090 Jake are best buds now. You feel me? Personally, I wouldn't look at Drake funny for telling. You know what I'm saying? To me, like, he seems like the kind of guy right off the rip that I would imagine would tell and did tell. But apparently there's no paperwork on all that. I don't know. I thought that was facts from a while back. But I don't know. Drake's like, yo, 1090 didn't say it. That's my guy. So it ain't happened. It's kind of wild to me. 1090 Jake obviously has risen to much success. That's old news, you know, but like getting shouts out from Drake and things of that nature is pretty crazy, man. You know, congrats to him. And speaking of Drake, do any of y'all remember Star, whose channel I think now is the Star Report? For a while, he had a channel called Shot 97. I don't know if it's the same channel and he changed the name or what, but there was a video you can't find anymore where there was this Canadian artist who was repping some motorcycle gang, like the Rough Riders, but not like Rough Riders, you know, saying Double R and all that, you know what I mean? But not the record label. He was repping Rough Riders, the motorcycle club, which is a real thing. I've actually seen them in person before. And y'all remember they used to have that dude Wink 1100 that would do all the tricks and all that. You know, Rough Riders has a lot of different divisions to it, I guess. But he went on to the Star Reporter. Back then it was called Shot 97 to expose Drake. He was a fellow Toronto MC. Forget what dude's name was. It was like Dre something. I can't recall. But he went on there, you know, to say that Drake pressed charges on him or his man about the chain, and Star ended up clowning the fuck out of this dude. It was just like pure comedy. It was hilarious, man. I don't know. It doesn't exist anymore. Comment, anyone out there, if you've seen that old gem, that old piece of content. It used to crack me the fuck up the way Star went in on this dude. But again, I don't know the deal with that. I guess 1090 Jake couldn't pull that paperwork up, and Drake wanted the whole world to know it. You know what I'm saying? Tap in with your thoughts on all that. But another side to this story with Rick Ross, you know, and the whole Officer Ricky story.
Daddy recently accused you of working as a prison guard at one point. Is there any truth to that? No, that's not true. You're a correctional officer at one point? Daddy recently accused you of working as a prison guard at one point. Is there any truth to that? No, that's not true. You're a correctional officer at one point? I was, yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't you.
What you mean? You a correctional officer at one point? I was, yeah.
So was it you on the picture? Were you?
I don't know which picture you're talking about. It's been a lot of fraudulent pictures. You a correctional officer at one point? I was, yeah.
Were you a corrections officer?
I can tell you one thing.
Hello?
I'm the boss and the biggest dude in the game.
Were you a corrections officer? I don't care.
The boss was never a mark. I was never a faker.
You know, I didn't really get to make it to the prison. Because you got to go through training and all that, and I didn't last long.
Right.
I may have lasted 4 months.
Right.
Before they said, you know.
Yeah.
I was a little tardy.
So readers, we are here with Mr. Rick Ross. What's up?
You already know.
Already know? All right, so one thing I want to ask you about, how do you feel about Boss of giving you the name Officer Ricky? I just want to hear it from you.
Baby, I'm worth too much money to even be, you know, sidetracked on this carpet. You know what I mean?
Well, you're not trying to sidetrack you, though. I'm not trying to sidetrack you at all.
I'm just letting you know that, just so
Right.
you'll know. And you can let them know whatever, you know, it's all love.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I heard you guys got the #1 album for the past couple weeks out right now. Tell me about that.
It's called Self-Made. Y'all need to go get it. And get your money up. We work 25 M's.
25 M?
Believe that.
Okay, I'm gonna find out what Boss is worth, and then so we can get our weight up
And
and
I
get up
send
with
you
you,
the
okay?
red bottoms, too.
That people really didn't go into this time around. You know what I mean? That just, to me, shows even deeper what a fraud Rick Ross is. And not even just about real or fake, gangster, snitch, none of that. Just an inauthentic individual who just is driven by nothing but materialism and money. And that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, everyone wants to be successful and live life lavish. But when you praise money almost as your God, you're a morally bankrupt, just defunct human being. And y'all seen that when Bossip asked him about it. Well, first you seen that first edit where he was talking, like, someone pulled up a little compilation where Rick Ross off the rip was just lying through his teeth about this. Like you see the different answers he gave on different days. Like Rick Ross's truth in his story changed like the weather, changed like the time of day, which just shows you can't believe a damn thing this dude says. And again, he's just morally defunct and just a fraud on many levels. Because then it changed to, well, no, I was one, but I didn't make it through the probation period and all that. And we see that wasn't the case. You know what I mean? That he indeed was a CO and won the perfect attendance award. Y'all feel me? So first he was just full out lying like it never happened, never was him. Then it was like lying about his attendance and everything like that. And I've even seen other interviews in the past where Rose, was like almost trying to hint at, like, yo, I'm a hustler, I'm a boss. Everything isn't as it appears, like, yeah, I was up in them jails, but like kind of almost telling people to read between the lines and alluding to that he was pumping work through the prisons or the jails. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like a crooked cop getting all this money or something, running all the contraband in the Florida prison system or something like that. You know what I mean? Just so goofy. And you see how mad he was at Bossip when they asked him about it. Again, he goes to the money. I'm going to buy you these pair of red bottoms. I'm worth too many M's. My #1 album that's been on the charts is called Self-Made. And I'm self-made storyteller, self-making the story of my life over and over again for y'all. You know what I mean? They rip me up like a character in WWE. And I love WWE, y'all. But I'm just always like to point that out, that Rick Ross, might as well be kayfabe Rick. He went from being the big boss man in real life to being like Razor Ramon, Tony Montana or something like that. It's just as goofy as can be. And it's crazy. You see the way he was mad at that Bossip lady. A part of the story that didn't really get brought up is the way that he reacted and set up DJ Vlad. Now, I know a lot of people are like, fuck vladtv, fuck DJ Vlad. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's entitled to their opinion and all that. I'm not saying I'm the biggest Vlad fan or nothing like that. Don't get it twisted. But I'm just saying Vlad isn't really the focus of what we're talking about here. We're talking about how Rick Ross was cool with Vlad and was doing interviews with him. And because he asked him about it in an interview, Rick Ross set him up and told him to meet him at some award show. Like, he wanted to tap in with him and get some exclusive content. And when he got there, he had his goons, not even him, put paws on Vlad and beat the brakes off him, break his orbital bone and all that. And Vlad sued for $4 million. But in the end, he walked away with 250 and plus another 50. So $300K in a judgment. And to me, I don't know, it just speaks even more to what a sensitive, can't look in the mirror, fraudulent, morally defunct, money praising human being. Just like he was telling that Bossip lady about, oh, get your weight up, get your M's up, let me buy you some red bottoms. When he was talking in an interview about the judgment and how he wanted to put it behind him. No doubt you want to put it behind you. You never even wanted to tell the truth to the people and the fans out there. But he just talked about how he had just went expensive shoe shopping at Barney's or something like that. Just always throwing around how many M's he's worth. Everything's about money. And, I don't know. I just wanted to tap back into this story a little bit and get everyone's thoughts on it about what you think about Rick Ross, the fraud. And, as I stated, this had come back all up with the Drake-Rick Ross side of the beef with 1090 Jake speaking on it and doing his video. And, again, him and Drake developing some kind of working relationship and friendship when it comes to the game. but people weren't really going in and telling the other side of the story, how he had his goons beat up DJ Vlad just for asking him about it. You know what I mean? Like impressing the boss of lady and all that on the red carpet. I just thought that was so goofy, and was wondering why people weren't, delving into that side of the story as much. As well as, like I was saying, the Drake blackface stuff that just seemingly blew over. Like, I wanted to get everyone's thoughts. What does that tell you about these individuals? Drake, Rick Ross, the beef, the skeletons, the fraudulent, and like I said, not just on no fake tough gangster-ish, or are you a rat or are you a real one? Just like what Drake did wearing that blackface. Like, what kind of an individual are you really? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And Rick Ross, why you just such a damn liar? So thanks for watching. Let's talk about it in the comments. Once again, it's all about hearing from the people over here. Look forward to see what y'all got to say. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace and God bless.